Hello, YouTube. Welcome to the Blue Collar Crypto Show. My name is Joe, better known as Dr. Biteball. And today we're going to talk about a serious subject.
You got to know when to hold up, know when to fold up, know when to walk away, and know when to run. You never count your money. When you're sitting at the table, there'll be time enough to count when the dealing's done.
Unfortunately, with crypto, the dealing is never done. It's not like the stock market where there's like a 9 to 5 window. Crypto is 24 hours. Addiction is a real thing. Gambling addiction is a real thing. And what I fear about this space is, although it's not gambling, I've heard the arguments for that, but it bears too much of a similarity that people with addictive personalities are going to screw themselves over. Because how much different is it if you were to take, say, $500, you go to the Bittrex exchange and you speculate on pump and dumps, or you go to the casino and you play blackjack or the roulette wheel or something. When it comes down to that, it has the same feeling, and that's sort of the trouble. Because, and of course, my dog likes to be part of the broadcast too. He likes to be part of it. So, this notion of being addicted to gambling with cryptocurrency, when you get on the exchange, you're watching certain coins go up 50, 60%. You look at them and you think, maybe this will be a 120% day for this coin I've never heard of. And you're gambling. You're gambling with emotions. And greed has overwhelmed you. And this is the problem, is I think that if you have an addictive personality, cryptocurrency is a bit of a trap, especially when you discover the exchanges. So a little personal story here. I had an account with Coinbase in the middle of 2015 and didn't take it seriously. But when I first discovered Poloniex, I didn't understand the value in buying and holding coins, moving them to wallets. I saw it as the gambling website where you took an arbitrary amount of money and played with. And for months, I would get on Poloniex with $500, move it around, gain 100 one day, lose, never go anywhere, ultimately lose money because you're trying to time pump and dumps. It's the dumbest thing ever, and it's all driven by emotion and the desire to gamble. So if you're involved in cryptocurrency and you're not mindful of that, you got to fool yourself. It's too similar, and addiction is a real thing. I mean, I think we've all experienced, having our phone, and I'll just give you an example here, what I'm talking about. I mean, look, there's your ticker prices, right? And that's cool. There's a widget. You got ticker prices for Byteball, for Ethereum, and Ripple, and Bitcoin. But you look at it before you go to bed. 3 hours later, you wake up to go to the bathroom, but you got to check the price. And then you wake up, when maybe again, you got to check the price. And then when you wake up and you want to go back to sleep, but you have to go look at the price. And then when you're at work and you keep looking at the price, this is the problem that happens. I mean, especially when you're putting in more and more money, that cryptocurrency is addictive. One, because it's just such a fascinating space, the ramifications of the technology, what it's capable of, but it's so encompassing that it's easy to lose yourself in it. It's easy to spend hours a day reading articles, looking at charts, trying to graph Elliott waves, figuring out where things are going to be, that you step back and look at yourself and go, what am I really doing with my life? I mean, it's one thing if you're trading successfully, you're securing profits and you're making money. It's another thing if you're just some basement dweller in front of a computer talking about crypto because he thinks it's cool. And I fear that in this community, there's too many people like that. And Blue Collar Crypto Channel is here to say, us blue collar guys can't afford to do that. That's white collar stuff. You're a white collar guy with like 100 Bitcoins. You want to take half a Bitcoin and play around with it, knock yourself out, man. That's stuff that we can't afford to do. And it's a mistake I made early on because, hey, who doesn't like the idea of being able to take $500? But for example, I saw, remember Z Classic? Remember that huge Z Classic bump from like a month and a half ago? I got into Z Classic before the pump on Bittrex. Went up 30% and sold it. And I was like, yeah, I'm a good day trade, 30% one night. It goes 10x in 2 weeks. You can't time that stuff. But here's the emotional issue. Okay, it happened. You owned it beforehand. You sold it. And now you're sitting there and you're mad. And you're mad at yourself because you think one different decision could have changed my life and it'd been so easy. And you criticize yourself because you forget that hindsight's 20/20 and there's no way you could have known. I've been in crypto long enough. I remember seeing Ripple when it was 0.5 cents a share. I remember seeing Dash when it was $2. I remember seeing Ethereum when it was $3 a share. So how many boats I've missed? I got you all beat. I've seen them all happen. Every one of those pump ups and rises, and gone back through it and said to myself, man, if I'd have just timed this buy and sell differently, I'd be a millionaire. So I can sit here and be mad about it and then stare at the graphs and go, okay, I got to find the next opportunity. Or I can step back from it, check myself, take stock in what I have, take stock in what I've learned. And that's what I've been doing recently. And now, yeah, my portfolio, I mean, during the crash has come down. I'm not seeing spikes, but I am accumulating more shares reliably and gradually. And that is the ultimate goal. So anyway, enough about being addicted to crypto. Let's go over to the screen share here. And I want to just talk about the price of Bitcoin a little bit. You know, Lorna, I have a feeling that Buddy is going to be a bigger star on my show than I am. Big barking golden retriever. Anyway, screen share coming up. There's Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart. Oh boy. Oh boy. Earlier today, or yesterday, I should say, I came on and said that Bitcoin may have hit its bottom. Elliott Wave say yes, because I was taking a good close look at this little action here. But I also made note that during this bear market, the trend of peaks, the correction angle, we'll call it, got more steep. So look at this red, and look at that red here, and then look at this one, okay? And if you zoom in a little tighter, there even appeared to be one here that we broke through. But not surprisingly, this angle, there was the resistance. And I was on here a few hours ago when Bitcoin was at 8,300 saying, I'm selling. I'm selling. Because one day we do this. This is not like we've hit a bottom, we've trickled up for a while, and we're coming down to the double bottom before the accumulation phase. No, this was a steep plummet to 5,800, a rapid buyback up. Be reasonable, people. Nothing about this market has changed. There's been little day-to-day news, but be honest, do we really think that this is just going to happen like that? Like all of a sudden, all of the sentiment and the energy that was pushing it down is just going to go away tomorrow? That doesn't happen. So yeah, when we met this line here that I'm pointing at my cursor, I sold some shares. And I'm going to sit here for a day or two and mark my words. When it comes back down to 6,300, 6,400, I'm buying it again. But an emotional trader, they probably bought today at 8,500. Look, I'm going to take you down a 30-minute chart and show you the irresponsible, dumb money behavior I'm talking about. Okay. You get on the exchange and you're sitting in this area and you're like, we just broke through the resistance. We just broke through the resistance buy. You know how many dumb money people bought right in this area thinking, we're headed to 9K. We're headed. No, you're not headed nowhere. Even these last few green candlesticks are a bull trap. Bull freaking trap. You think this is going to break up now? It just tested the support. Yeah, it's going to dip down and come back 2 hours later, test again and break it. Are you kidding me? That doesn't happen. So, look, boom, 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 double negative. There you go. You see that happen? Then you buy in. When you see double negative consolidation, that's when you buy in. You don't buy in during the bull trap. You buy in during the bottom of the bear market when everyone's having a panic attack. Remember 2 days ago, Bitcoin's at $6,000. Everyone's freaking out about the world's about to end. My ass is on the exchange buying more shares. Buy the dip, sell the peak. And for some reason, new money has this habit of doing the exact opposite. So if you haven't been in cryptocurrency for more than 6 months, anytime you have an instinct about when to make a trade, do the exact opposite and you'll be a millionaire. It's funny, but it's probably that simple. Ain't that some shit, right? So this is an interesting world to be in. My advice would be, the market is volatile as it is right now. Don't go all in. I don't care how much money you have. Whatever amount of money you plan to invest in crypto, do not go all in right now. We haven't found the bottom. We haven't stabilized. There's no indicator as to where this volatility, where like a trading range is going to establish, where it's going to be. No indicator at all. If you want to take some risk and buy significant dips like I've been doing, go for it. But don't dump in the whole bag right now, because nobody in this space has any idea where this is going to be in 2 weeks. We don't. And anyone who tells you they really know is lying to you. Yeah, I can sit up here in front of these charts and point at them and go, this indicator, that, this Elliott wave, that, this retracement based on this mathematical formula. Yeah, that's all great, but it's not conclusive proof. So the idea is, if you're going for it, low dollar cost average. Keep your average buy-ins low. That's the strategy. But honestly, just to go out on a limb and make a prediction here, I'll take you back over to screen share. Go out on a limb and make a prediction. This ain't financial advice. I'm no psychic. I don't predict the future. But when I take this to, say, the weekly chart, for example, and I got to zoom back in here, I think it's very, very likely that, demonstrate with a ray here, we see something like this, and then maybe like that area as it finds its little range in this area. Big run up, correction. But when things are breaking out, go through any cryptocurrency chart, any stock chart on an emerging technology or something that's bullish in the year, like for years, you'll see a lot of big run-ups followed by sell-offs that, guess what, consolidate all the way down to the principle of pressure turns support. That's what I think will happen with Bitcoin in the long term, is that our pressure used to be around 8,000 until we broke above it with the futures news. Now the support will be around 8,000 once we shake out this scared volatility. I think, we're going to bounce around a bit below it. We'll trickle back up to 8,000, and then we'll have sort of a leveling off in the market that may actually follow this bottom line right here, as the market sentiment on the cultural level isn't there, but the sentiment on the technological level inside the space is still there, and you're just going to see a gradual accumulation of Bitcoin and an eventual run up months, if not a year down the line, really taking this out far. See what I mean? And eventually coming up as we reach the next wave of cryptocurrency emerging in the society. So it's an interesting space to be in for sure. Be mindful, be careful, because it's easy to get addicted to.